programming is being brought to you by Vallejo Grill, located at 758 Admiral Callahan Lane, open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., serving classic American cuisine, prime rib, French dip, and their signature chicken wings. For more information, call 707-557-4551. Enjoy a great meal at Vallejo Grill.
Ozcat Radio, 89.5 FM. Katie Cool Lady here on the Sunny Mix. And sorry it was running a little bit late. I have our wonderful guests from Valcore, Mark and John. Say hey, guys.
Hello. How you doing?
All right, get up in that mic. Oops, I'm too loud and you're too soft. Okay, we'll try that. They are here from Valcore today to talk about
composting.
Composting. And if you guys aren't excited about composting around this time of year, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's the compost is about exciting as the Giants right now.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So you guys are actually going to be offering some composting classes?
Yes, our last one for the year is going to be November 3rd at Valcore from 10 a.m. to noon.
10 a.m. to noon. And that's right at Valcore?
Yes.
Okay, what's this one at Loma? Oh, that's they missed the Loma Vista Farm one.
Right, but Rita Leroy is going to be the instructor, and of course she's the head person out at Loma Vista Farms.
Okay, Mark, get up in that mic a little bit more and lift it up a little bit higher so it's at your mouth level. There you go. Let's try that. So she's going to be there also at this composting class?
Yeah, she's going to be the instructor for the class.
And what are people going to learn?
Well, they're going to learn all about composting, the ins and outs. You'll actually get a chance to help build a composting bin from scratch, and she'll talk a little bit about worm composting.
So do you need to get worms to do composting, or do they come naturally?
They actually, believe it or not, they will just show up. We have our composting bins that we started probably about a year ago. We kind of let them go for a little while.
At Valcore?
Yes, we've got 4 of them going right now. And, initially, we didn't have any worms brought out there or anything. I think Jane brought a few for our little worm composting bin, but as far as our compost bin, we didn't put any in there. Well, and they're all on concrete, and it's amazing that all of a sudden, these worms just show up in our bins.
Really? They must be crawling in from somewhere.
I don't know when and where, and you never see them crawling across the yard, do you, John?
No, they just showed up out of nowhere, and we just reported. I heard a coworker scream, like, I think we got worms. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's in the compost bin. Not exactly.
And they're supposed to be there. That's a good... If you're not familiar with compost, it sounds creepy. It's perfect for Halloween, one.
Right.
Because it's got creepy... Compost is full of creepy crawl. A healthy compost is full of worms and bugs, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And what are the worms and bugs actually doing in there?
They actually eat the materials and create fertile for the composting, what you put together from food scraps as well as greens and browns. So.
Greens and browns. So let's talk about what are greens and browns.
Greens and browns are a mixture of yard waste and brown leaves. I believe brown represents carbon and greens represent nitrogen. And you want a mix of both, not heavily on either side, just a 50-50%.
So browns, dried leaves and stuff like that?
Grass clippings, dry leaves, shredded paper, actually, believe it or not.
Shredded paper? Yeah. What kinds of paper?
Newspaper. Regular newspaper is fine, instead of taking it to your recycling, or you could just shred it up and make it composting. So. And
you should break it down?
Yes, it's easier to shred it because actually the worms will actually eat that better. Because if you put regular paper in, the worms will ignore it. Whereas if you shred the paper, the worms will eat it up.
Okay. I noticed I actually have a compost heap in my backyard, but it's not really doing anything because I think some of our pieces we just dragged in there, we maybe need to break them down smaller. And I don't think we're putting water. Do you need to add water to your compost?
A little water doesn't help, but also the main key is to turn it. Make sure there's a lot of air into it so that way that's always constantly turning around and all the juice comes out. So
what you were telling me about this which would sound like really gross, and this rotting heap of organic material is going to leak. Right. And that stuff is really good for your plants.
Yes, it's actually called compost tea. Although it does look drinkable, I'd suggest not to. It comes out after turning. It's like a healthy extra vitamin boost for the plants, add to the fertile.
Have you been now? Do you guys have a garden at Valcore?
No, we're pretty much all concrete. We
Yeah.
have some planter boxes around that we throw our own compost in there, but no, we don't have a garden.
Do you notice a difference when you add the compost to the planter boxes?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is pretty cool. If people come to the class on the 3rd, they actually get to purchase an Earth Machine compost bin for, if you're a Vallejo resident, for $40. That's a pretty good deal.
It is, and you know what it is that City of Vallejo's recycling coordinator, Derek Crutchfield, is helping to subsidize that. So if you're a non-resident, unfortunately you have to pay $75, but that extra money is being picked up by the city.
So Vallejo residents, a mere $40, and that's $35. That's basically half price.
Right, exactly.
And are those the composters? I think you guys gave one away at the Wednesday night or at the farmers market one day.
Well, that one was
for Recycle Month, or
yeah, that was one from Recology. There's different styles.
okay. What style is the one they're going to get at the class?
It's a BioStack. It's a A-framed round unit that comes in 2 pieces. It has a drawer kind of thing in front where you can access the compost on the bottom. And then on the top, you can actually put the new stuff from the top.
Okay, so people just fill in their food scraps and their leaves and green and brown stuff on paper into the top, and keep turning it, and the small stuff comes out the bottom.
Right. Now, ideally, you, not to push this, but you should probably get like 2, because the way it works best is if you have one that's a working one, and then you have one that's constantly kind of burning.
Adding the new stuff to it.
Right, exactly. So
getting it started.
Right, exactly. There you go.
Right on. What how does compost work into the for those who don't know what Valcore is not Mark, do people think you're the trash company all the time?
Yeah, we constantly get Recology, and that's not a bad thing.
Because
like
it sounds like you would be Recology, because it's sounds like recycling Recology.
Exactly. We get phone calls all the time thinking, well, we didn't get our recycling bin picked up or anything like that or something, or just have questions in general about their garbage service. And, once again, I sure don't mind being mixed up with Recology.
You guys work very closely together,
we do.
Don't you?
Absolutely. So it's just a matter of giving their number, which is 552-3110. Sorry, I had to plug that.
That's okay. They must call a lot for you to know the number by heart.
They do.
Well, and you guys now, I know at Valcore, you guys recycle CRV recycling, correct?
Yes, ma'am, we do. We recycle CRV items. We also do recycle any items that have non-CRV, but we consider that scrap. So we will take that off your hands, but we just won't pay you for it.
You won't pay for it.
Yeah.
And there's also, one of the best things about going to Valcore is what is it? It's not called the free bin. Was it called the reuse barn?
The reuse barn, yes. A lot of people drop off items like books, clothing.